Hey, Drake, have you seen or read Original Sin, the Biden book? Because that was pretty revealing. Not only have I seen it, okay, well, it's not within grabbing distance, but I've also read it. I can talk about it. I talked about it on the podcast, which is why I don't want to repeat myself, but also I realize that everyone listens to the podcast. So Original Sin is a book by Jake Tapper of CNN about essentially the cover-up of Biden's declining mental state and how it didn't become widely admitted to or apparent until the debate.
Eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we had to do with.
And it was buzzing about in, online spaces, and I thought I'd pick it up and read it. It was pretty easy read. I skimmed it. I'll be honest with you, I skimmed it. Because at the end of the day, I talk about the podcast, it's like, I think all of this is true. And I think it's important to talk about, but it's also like Biden's day is done. So how much talking about Biden can we still do productively? Since the guy is old and cancer riddled and gonna die. And so I can shit on him a lot, but it just feels like it's all performative. Who gives a shit about Biden anymore? He's not running again. And, there was a fair criticism of this book from Jon Stewart, who said, like, if you had all this research, why the did you wait until after it doesn't help anybody in America to sell a book? Which is a fair criticism. However, reading the book, I didn't get the sense he was just making shit up. That's what I'm saying. It seems pretty well sourced and people go on the record about their experiences. And, one of the stories that sticks out to me when I read it was they're at a fundraiser that George Clooney, who has met Biden dozens of times, has run many fundraisers for him. George Clooney is running this fundraiser and he meets Joe Biden, and Joe Biden forgets who he is completely. And so they're there as George Clooney is shaking hands with Joe Biden, and it becomes obvious that Joe Biden is just like pretending to know who it is. You come here often, or like, good to meet you. And then one of his aides has to step up and be like, this is George, Joe, this is George Clooney. And then Biden's like, oh yeah, well, good to see you again. Anyway, there's a lot of stories like that in the book of, not that he is straight up unable to form a coherent thought. Anyone who's seen him speak, he has moments of lucidity, obviously. It's more of that, like, he is old. He's like truly old, forgetful. He's a grandpa. It's like talking to your grandpa where they like forget some things, or it's just not leadership level lucidity. That's the bar for a president? No, that's what I'm saying. And then also now knowing that he has terrible pancreatic cancer, it's just crazy the idea that he thought he could go till 2029. It's just crazy. It's crazy. And really, one thing that the book makes clear, and also my own reading and understanding, the main reason that he was running was him. Like, it wasn't anyone else pushing him to run. If anything, people kind of wanted him to step back. But he was like, no, I'm the guy. I'm the one that can beat him. I'm the guy. And that caused a lot of damage. That caused a lot of problem. I really think Biden would have had a much stronger legacy if he had, from day one, committed to being a one-term president no matter what. If he had committed to it, stuck with it, never wavered, always said, I'm a one-term, I think he would have such a stronger legacy. But instead, he said he would do that, or heavily implied it, early on, and then threw it out as he got older. Might not be that good of a question, but why did they let him run again? You're saying, why did they let him run? They didn't let him do anything. He was the head of the party. He's the head of the country. They don't choose or let. If anything, they didn't let him run again after the debate. After the debate, it became so obvious that everyone was going to pull their support that he had to step down. But then by that time, it was too late to do anything. So it goes to Kamala Harris, who was not popular. And also, when you're running against inflation, you can't pick your own vice president and be like, it's just a horrendous strategy. You have to have someone that's like, yeah, that inflation stuff's bad, and we're gonna change it. Listen, I don't think it's the biggest issue of the day, but it's worth like, I think, finalizing that he is to blame for some pretty seriously He helped Trump. He helped, like, Trump winning in 2020 would have been less damaging than winning now. Because Trump in 2020 had a cabinet of people trying to stop him from everything he's doing. It's like if Biden just beat a boss and now he's back against him again and he's all like, if I did it once, I can do it again, but he's at 5 HP left. H-Rock, you need more gamer terms on your streams. How can you expect the Zoomers to understand anything? Does that make it clear for you guys? Do you understand now that Biden had 5 HP and he was trying to run back the same boss? Literally victim blaming. Trump shot the person and you're mad Biden didn't tech the disarm. Is this another gaming room? I don't get it. But I don't think it's victim blaming. I think it's cause blaming. That's where you blame one of the causes for a thing for the thing. That's what I would think it is. I've come to this belief more and more lately, which is that the president is important for setting a bold direction for the country, but mainly their job is not the details. It is getting everyone on board. The president's main job in America, with the way our elections work now, is Riz. Their main job is Riz. They need to make the ideas understandable and palatable to a large enough voting public to get motivation. They have to explain the problems we currently have in their worldview. What are our problems? In their worldview, what are the solutions? And in their worldview, how do they get there? Usually they also have to create some enemies. They have to be like, these are the enemies. So that everyone can ally. I'm just realizing this is how it works. This is how, when you're dealing with hundreds of millions of people, isn't that what Hitler did? Yeah, it is. It can be used for good or evil. I don't know if this is a shocking news to you, is that some leaders are bad people. The idea of leadership does not mean good. I don't know if does that make sense to you? Name one, you mean aside from Adolf Hitler? Is that guy blocked out? Name two, my manager, am I right, fellas? Yeah, my shift leader, am I right, folks? Are you talking about North Korea today? Oh yeah, I wanted to watch the thing. So the long story short is that North Korea had this big, beautiful ship, Trump style, and they were ready to launch. And then right on launch, it like crashed and sank. And so it was a disaster. And now they are like cracking down on everyone involved in it. It's heads will roll, so to speak.
Korea has detained 4 officials over the failed launch of its second naval destroyer, an incident that leader Kim Jong-un has
Doesn't this sound like it's on 0.75 speed? Why does it sound so?
called a result of criminal negligence. Well, the 5,000-ton warship tipped onto its side during a launch ceremony last.
Is there no video of it actually tipping on its side? I don't want the photos. North Korea has arrested 4 officials in connection with this botched warship launch. Kim Jong-un is furious, even on state media, and they face severe consequences. What would they blame? They blame them, I guess? Oh, here's what they blamed. So state-run outlets announced the arrest and placed the blame squarely on the shoulders of the shipyard's chief engineer. That's good. I think we should blame the engineers more often. That is embarrassing. Do you know that reminds me of Sweden. I'm thinking of Sweden, dude. Sweden had this massive shit. I've got a picture for you right here. This is a recreation. The Vasa. So there's this Swedish king in 1628, right? And he has them build this gigantic ship. And it's in the middle of the harbor. And he has everybody come out to see it, including leaders of other countries. This is the actual ship? Well, no, they recreated it. They rebuilt it. This is a rebuild. This is like a... Anyway, I was there. Yeah, I was there. There's this big ship, massive ship in the harbor, and everybody comes out to see it. And on the maiden voyage, it sinks in the harbor. It's too top heavy, and it like flips over and sinks right as it takes off. And it's like such a public disaster. You know, everybody sees the failure publicly, and he has attached his name to it. And all the leaders go back home, all the dignitaries go back home and talk about it. And so it's such a massive embarrassment that the source I was reading in was saying it's like one of the cultural touchstones of Sweden that makes them, I forget the word, but it's like tall poppy syndrome, which is like if you stand out too much, you get cut down. And it makes them want to have a more equal society. It was so humbling for their rich king then it like makes everybody want to be like, nobody should be that rich. I thought it was such a funny story. It was such a generational oral loss. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, it like brought so much shame, which I think is very funny. I think it's very funny.